Are you aware of the value of your own life? You definitely don't want to hear this, but the majority of individuals claim that their time is invaluable, yet they actually spend their entire day napping, scrolling, or waiting for tomorrow. Procrastination is more than just a sign of laziness. You are deliberately destroying your own dignity. Your brain is being told that your term has no meaning. This video isn't meant to be an uplifting speech. It serves as a wake-up call to help you put an end to the bleeding before you become mentally impoverished. I'll offer you a straightforward 1-minute checklist if you stay until the very end. You may eradicate procrastination from your life with the use of this tool. You are actively killing your own self-respect. You are telling your brain that your word means nothing. This video is not a motivational speech to make you feel good. It is a wake-up call to help you stop the bleeding before you go mentally bankrupt. If you stay until the very end, I am going to give you a simple 1-minute checklist. This tool will help you delete procrastination from your life forever. But first, we have to look at the math of why you are failing. You think procrastination is a small problem. You think you just need a better alarm clock or a new app. You are wrong. Every time you say you will do something, and then you don't, a tiny piece of your confidence dies. Imagine a friend who always lies to you. Every time they promise to help, they disappear. Eventually, you stop trusting them. You stop calling them. Well, that friend is you. Your brain is watching you. It sees you make big plans at night and then hit the snooze button in the morning. After a while, your brain realizes you are a liar. It stops giving you the energy to work because it knows you won't follow through anyway. This is why you feel tired even when you haven't done anything. You aren't tired from working. You are tired from the weight of all your broken promises. Let's look at the math of self-betrayal. Imagine your time is like a credit card. Every time you push a task to tomorrow, you are buying something today with money you don't have. You get the comfort of being lazy right now, but the interest rate is massive. Tomorrow arrives, and now you have twice the work to do. You have less energy. You have more stress. You are borrowing peace from your future self and spending it on a cheap nap or a video game. You are putting your future self into debt. Most people live their whole lives in time debt. They are always behind. They are always rushing. They are always feeling guilty. This guilt acts like a heavy backpack that you never take off. It makes every task feel 10 times harder than it actually is. If you want to change, you have to stop looking for motivation. Motivation is a feeling, and feelings change like the weather. You need a system that works even when you feel like garbage. You need to understand that your current life is a direct result of the entry requirements you set for yourself. If you allow yourself to be a person who breaks promises, you will always be at the bottom. But if you decide that your word is law, everything changes. The Japanese found a secret to fixing this without the pain of trying harder. They call it Kaizen. It is the art of winning by doing things so small that failing is actually impossible. Before we get to the how, you must accept that your time is your only real currency. Stop spending it on people and habits that leave you broke. If you keep living this way, you aren't just wasting time. You are murdering the person you were meant to become. This is the cost of the lie. You think it's just 5 more minutes of sleep. It's actually 5 more minutes of telling yourself that you don't matter. It is time to stop the debt. It is time to start the math of winning. Why do you always set massive goals on New Year's Eve and quit by January 15th? Most people think they fail because they are weak. That is not true. You fail because you have been sold a lie. That lie is called go big or go home. We are told that if we want to change our lives, we have to make giant leaps. We think we need to work out for 2 hours every day. We think we need to write a whole book in a month. We think we need to launch $1 million business by next week. This big win mindset is actually a trap. It is the biggest reason for procrastination. When a task looks like a giant mountain, your brain gets scared. Your brain is designed to keep you safe and comfortable. When it sees a huge, painful goal, it sends out a signal of fear. That fear feels like boredom or a lack of motivation. So you go watch TV instead. You aren't lazy. Your goal is just too big for your current habits. Alex Hormozy says that complexity is the enemy of execution. If something is complicated, you won't do it. If something is hard, you will find an excuse. The secret to winning is to remove all the friction from your life. Friction is anything that makes it hard to start. If you want to go to the gym, but your gym clothes are in a pile on the floor, that is friction. If you want to start a business, but you don't even know how to register a name, that is friction. Most people try to use willpower to fight friction, but willpower is like a battery. It runs out very quickly. By 5 p.m., your battery is dead. That is when you eat the junk food or skip the work. You cannot rely on a battery that dies every day. You need a system that requires zero battery to start. This is where the big win fallacy hurts you most. You think that small steps don't count. You think that doing one push-up is a waste of time. You think that writing one sentence is useless. But you are forgetting the math of momentum. 0 is a very dangerous number. If you multiply anything by 0, the answer is always 0. If you do nothing for 364 days and then work 24 hours straight on the last day, you are still a person who does nothing. But if you do just 1% every day, you aren't just adding, you are compounding. In 1 year, you will be 37 times better than when you started. That is the power of Kaizen. It is not about the big win. It is about the tiny win that you actually do. Imagine your goal is a heavy boulder. If you try to lift it all at once, you will break your back. You will give up. But if you put a small pebble under it every day, eventually the boulder starts to roll. Once it rolls, you don't even have to push that hard anymore. Procrastinators are people who spend their whole lives trying to lift the boulder and failing. Successful people are people who just focus on the next pebble. Your brain doesn't care how small the win is. It just likes the feeling of winning. When you finish a tiny task, your brain releases a chemical called dopamine. This chemical makes you want to do more. By choosing a big win, you are starving your brain of dopamine. You are making your life a long, sad walk through the desert. By choosing tiny wins, you create a constant stream of energy. Stop looking for the giant leap. Stop waiting for the perfect moment where you have 10 hours of free time and perfect energy. That moment is never coming. It is a ghost. It is a story you tell yourself so you don't have to start today. The big win is a scam because it gives you an excuse to stay on the couch. You tell yourself, I can't do the big thing today, so I'll do nothing. Kaizen takes that excuse away. If the goal is just to stand up and put on your shoes, you can't say, I'm too tired for that. You have to be honest. You have to admit that you are capable of doing one small thing. And once you do that, one small thing, the big win starts to become possible. Think about the last time you let someone ruin your entire afternoon. Maybe it was a friend complaining about the same problem for the 100th time. Maybe it was a random person on the internet making you angry. You gave them your time for free. Why? If a stranger walked up to you and asked for $500, you would say no. You would probably walk away fast. But when people ask for an hour of your life, you say sure. You act like your time is worth $0. This is why you procrastinate. You don't value your time, so you don't feel bad about wasting it. You have no entry requirements for your life. Your doors are wide open, and any thief can walk in and steal your focus. If you want to be successful, you have to treat your time like a high-end club. A club has a bouncer at the door. Not everyone gets in. You have to meet the requirements. You have to be dressed right. You have to be on the list. Right now, your life has no bouncer. Anyone can text you, call you, or sit next to you and dump their garbage into your brain. This creates mental clutter. When your brain is full of other people's problems, you don't have the space to work on your own goals. You feel busy, but you aren't doing anything. You are just a trash can for everyone else's drama. You need to start using the audition framework. In a movie, actors have to audition for a role. The director doesn't just hire the first person who walks by. The actor has to prove they are good enough. You need to do this with everyone in your life. Does this person help me grow? Do they bring me peace? Or are they just a distraction? If they don't pass the audition, they don't get a seat at your table. This sounds mean, but it is actually an act of self-respect. You are the CEO of your life. A CEO does not spend 3 hours arguing with a random person in the lobby. They stay in the office and do the work that matters. Most people are afraid to say no. They think they are being nice. But being nice to people who waste your time is being cruel to your future self. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you are saying no to your dreams. You are saying no to the person you want to become. You are giving out lifetime achievement awards to people who haven't even passed the audition. Stop it. You need to raise your standards. Your time is the only thing you can never get back. You can make more money. You can buy a new house, but you can never buy back the hour you spent listening to gossip. Start setting bouncers for your schedule. Set a rule that you don't check your phone before 10 a.m. Tell your friends that you are unavailable during your work blocks. If they get mad, let them. If they don't respect your time, they don't respect you. People who have no goals will always try to make you waste your time with them. It makes them feel better about their own failure. Do not let them pull you down into the mud. When you make it hard for people to reach you, you will notice something amazing. The low-quality people will go away. Only the people who truly matter will stay. By making your entry requirements strict, you create a fortress of peace where you can finally use Kaizen to build your future. Have you ever woken up with a full night of sleep, but you still felt like you could not move? You had a long list of things to do, but your body felt like lead. You think you are lazy. You think you need more coffee. But the truth is much darker. You are not lazy. You are leaking. Imagine a bucket filled with water. If that bucket has 10 tiny holes in the bottom, it doesn't matter how much water you pour in. It will always be empty. Most people spend their lives pouring motivation into a bucket that is full of holes. These holes are energy vampires. These are the people, habits, and thoughts that drain your battery before you even start your day. Procrastination is often just a defense mechanism. Your brain knows that you only have a little bit of energy left. It sees your work and thinks, if I do that, I will have nothing left for myself. So it shuts down. It chooses to scroll through TikTok instead of writing that report. It isn't because you love TikTok. It's because TikTok is cheap. It doesn't ask for anything from you. Your work, however, requires energy you don't have because someone else already took it. This is the opportunity cost of toxic people. Every minute you spend arguing with someone who doesn't matter is a minute stolen from your focus. You are paying for their drama with your future success. There are 3 main types of energy vampires. First is the crisis maker. This person always has a problem that only you can solve. They call you with an emergency every week. They don't actually want a solution. They want your attention. Second is the dream crusher. This person makes small, mean jokes about your goals. They say things like, "Are you still trying to do that?" Or, "That sounds risky." They plant seeds of doubt that grow into procrastination. The third is the passive user. These are people who just hang around and take up space. They don't give anything back. They just sit in your digital lobby, sending you memes and distracting you from your path. You need to understand that energy is more important than time. You can have 8 hours of free time, but if your energy is at 5%, you will get nothing done. Kaizen teaches us to protect the small things. This includes protecting your small bursts of energy. If you want to end procrastination, you have to find the leaks and plug them. This means muting people in real life. It means leaving group chats that make you feel annoyed. It means saying no to the person who always brings drama to your door. You aren't being mean. You are just refusing to let your bucket run dry. When you remove these leaks, something strange happens. You suddenly find that you have plenty of motivation. You don't need to try harder. You just have more fuel in the tank. You can finally look at a task and feel like you can handle it. The secret to being productive isn't just about what you do. It is about what you stop doing. Stop giving your energy to people who don't deserve it. Stop letting vampires decide how your day goes. Plug the holes, save your water, and use it to grow your own garden. Most people think that to get a big result, you need a big input. They think if they want to lose 50 pounds, they have to run for 5 miles today. They think if they want to make $1 million, they have to work 16 hours straight. This is why you are stuck. You are trying to start a fire by throwing a giant log on a tiny match. The log just crushes the flame. This is where we use input zero math to cheat the system. In math, if you multiply 100 by 0, you get 0. If you multiply 1,000,000 by 0, you still get 0. Procrastination is a 0 inches day. As long as you do nothing, your progress will always be 0, no matter how much potential you have. The Kaizen secret is to change your input to 0.01. It looks small. It looks pathetic. But 0.01 can be multiplied. 0.01 can be doubled. You can build a whole world on 0.01, but you can build nothing on 0. The Input Zero framework says that the most important thing is not how good you are, but that you are no longer at 0. You need to standardize before you optimize. This means you have to make the habit exist before you can make the habit better. If you want to write, Your goal is not to write a good page. Your goal is to write one sentence. Even if that sentence is, "I don't know what to write." Now you are at 0.01. The seal is broken. The 0 inches is gone. The reason this works is because of activation energy. Think of a car that has run out of gas. The hardest part is the first 3 feet of pushing it. Once the wheels are spinning, it gets easier. Procrastination is just being stuck at the very first inch. By using the input 0 framework, you are only focused on that first inch. You tell your brain, "I am just going to open the document." That's it. You don't have to type. You just have to open it. This removes the fear. Your brain thinks, "I can open a document, that's easy." But once the document is open, the friction is gone. You are already there. You might as well write 1 word, then 1 line, then 1 page. You must stop being embarrassed by small progress. Many people don't start because they think a small step is pointless. They say, "Why bother walking for 5 minutes? It won't make me thin." This is all or nothing thinking, and it is a trap. The 5-minute walk is not for your body. It is for your brain. It is to prove to your brain that you are a person who moves. It is to kill the 0. When you kill the 0 every day, you build a winning streak. Your brain starts to get addicted to the tiny hit of dopamine you get from finishing a task. Soon, you aren't fighting yourself to start. You are just following the momentum. Hormozy often talks about volume versus intensity. Most people try to use high intensity, working really hard, but they have 0 volume. They only do it once a week. Kaizen flipped this. It focuses on volume first. Do the tiny thing every single day. Do it when you are tired. Do it when you are busy. Because doing 0.01 is always better than doing 0. If you can master the art of never having a 0 inches day, you will eventually surpass everyone who is waiting for the right time to do something big. The input 0 framework is your secret weapon. It makes you unstoppable because you have made it impossible to fail. Have you ever noticed that if you watch one video about cars, your entire phone suddenly fills up with car videos? That is an algorithm. It watches what you interact with and gives you more of it. Your life works exactly the same way. Your environment is your real-life algorithm. If you spend your time with people who complain, life will keep showing you things to complain about. If you hang out with people who are stuck, you will find yourself staying stuck too. You are the average of the content you consume and the people you talk to. If you want to end procrastination, you have to reset your feed. Most people try to change their habits while staying in the same messy environment. This is like trying to grow a flower in a dark closet. It doesn't matter how much willpower you have. The environment will win every time. Kaizen teaches us that small changes in our surroundings lead to massive changes in our results. If you want to work, but your phone is buzzing with messages from people who don't have goals, you are fighting a losing battle. You are engaging with low-quality content in the real world. You have to be aggressive. You have to unfollow the people and habits that trigger your laziness. Think about your inner circle as your mobile app home screen. The apps you put there are the ones you use the most. Who are the people on your home screen? Are they people who push you to be better? Or are they people who just want to waste time? If you keep engaging with people who drain you, the algorithm of life thinks that is what you want. It will bring more drama and more distractions into your path. To reset it, you must stop clicking. Stop replying to the gossip. Stop going to the places that make you feel lazy. You need to design an environment where work is the easiest thing to do. If your desk is messy, that is visual noise. It tells your brain that things are out of control. If your phone is full of games, your brain will always choose the game over the work. Resetting your algorithm means making the bad habits hard to do and the good habits easy to do. This is environment design. Put your phone in another room. Put your books on your pillow. Delete the apps that make you feel like a loser. When you change the input of your environment, your output changes automatically. You don't need a new personality. You just need a new feed. When you start surrounding yourself with high-quality ideas and focused people, your brain starts to copy them. This is the social multiplier effect. Suddenly, doing the work feels normal because everyone around you is doing the work. Procrastination becomes weird instead of common. You don't have to be a hero to win. You just have to be smart enough to change your surroundings. Reset your real-life algorithm today. Mute the noise so you can finally hear the sound of your own potential. Do you feel like you are the only one who can save the people around you? Maybe you have a friend who is always in trouble, or a family member who can't get their life together. You spend hours talking them through their problems. You give them advice they never take. You tell yourself you are being a good person. But here is the brutal truth. Your hero complex is just another form of procrastination. You are using other people's messy lives as a shield. As long as you are busy fixing them, you have a perfect excuse for why you haven't fixed yourself. You aren't a martyr. You are an enabler, and you are using their drama to hide from your own fear of success. Staying with people who pull you down isn't an act of kindness. It is a distraction. It is much easier to give advice to someone else than it is to do the hard work on your own goals. When you spend your energy trying to change someone who doesn't want to change, you are wasting a limited resource. Energy is like water in a canteen. If you give all your water to people who are just going to pour it in the sand, you will die of thirst. This is the oxygen mask principle. On an airplane, they tell you to put on your own mask before helping others. Why? Because if you run out of air, you both die. If you don't achieve your goals, you won't have the power or resources to help anyone anyway. The hero complex is often driven by a need for control. You want to feel needed. You want to feel like the strong one. But this is a trap for your ego. Real strength is having the courage to walk away from a sinking ship. You cannot pull someone up if they are determined to go down. By staying, you aren't saving them. You are just joining them at the bottom. Kaizen teaches us to focus on the things we can actually control. You cannot control your brother's laziness. You cannot control your friend's bad choices. You can only control your own actions. Every minute you spend in someone else's mess is a minute you aren't building your own fortress. You have to let people fail. This sounds cold, but it is the most honest thing you can do. Sometimes people need to hit rock bottom before they decide to change. By always saving them, you are actually preventing them from learning their lesson. You are taking away their growth. More importantly, you are destroying your own progress. Think about the person you could become if you took all that fixing energy and turned it inward. Think about the business you could start, the body you could build, or the skills you could learn. Stop trying to be the hero in everyone else's story. Start being the hero in your own. The best way to help the world is not to be a fixer of broken people. The best way to help is to become so successful and so disciplined that you become a light for others to follow. Lead by example, not by babysitting. Cut the cords that are dragging you down. If they want to swim, they will swim. But you have a destination to reach, and you cannot get there with anchors tied to your ankles. Imagine you are 80 years old. You are sitting in a chair looking back at your life. You see all the things you could have done. You see the business you never started. You see the books you never read. You see the person you were meant to be standing right in front of you. That version of you is strong, happy, and successful. But you are just tired. You realize that you didn't run out of time. You gave your time away for free. You spent it on people who didn't care about you. You spent it on tomorrow. This is the pain of regret, and it is the heaviest weight a human can carry. This is what it means to be mentally bankrupt. Most people think of bankruptcy as losing all your money, but the worst kind of bankruptcy is when you run out of future. Every time you procrastinate, you are stealing $1 from your future self. Every wasted hour is a withdrawal from your success bank. If you keep doing this, one day you will go to buy your freedom, and the card will be declined. You will realize that you are stuck in a job you hate, or a life that feels small because you spent your wealth on cheap distractions today. You traded your legacy for a few more minutes of scrolling. The math is simple and brutal. There are 168 hours in a week. If you sleep 56 hours and work 40, you still have 72 hours left. That is almost 3,000 hours a year. In 5 years, that is 15,000 hours. You could become a master at 3 different skills in that time. You could build a massive empire. But if you spend those hours explaining yourself to toxic people or resting from work you haven't even done, you are throwing diamonds into the ocean. You are making yourself poor on purpose. You are choosing to be a nobody because it feels safer than being a somebody. Hormozi says that the cost of a mistake is not just the money you lose. It is the money you never made because you were busy being wrong. The same is true for time. The cost of procrastination is the person you never became. It is the family you couldn't provide for. It is the confidence you never felt. When you look at it this way, taking a break doesn't feel so relaxing anymore. It feels like a robbery. You are robbing your future children of a better life. You are robbing your future self of peace. You have to start feeling the sting of wasted time. You need to get angry. Not angry at the world, but angry at the fact that you have been selling yourself so cheap. Kaizen is your way out of this bankruptcy. It allows you to start making deposits again. Even if you only deposit 1 minute of work today, you have stopped the debt. You have started to build wealth. Don't wait until you are 80 to wish you had started today. Start now, so that when you look back, you see a life that was spent well, not a life that was thrown away. Now that you know why you are stuck, let's talk about the cure. The Kaizen Mastery Protocol is not about working harder. It is about working smarter by being unreasonably small. In the West, we are taught to focus on the goal. In Japan, Kaizen teaches us to focus on the process. If the process is easy, the goal will take care of itself. To master this, you must follow the rule: standardize before you optimize. You cannot make a habit better if the habit does not exist. You cannot fix a business that isn't running. You must make the action happen first, no matter how bad it looks. Here is how you apply this to your life. If you want to build a $10,000 a month business, don't start by trying to make $10,000. Start by trying to make $1. If you can make $1, you have proven that the system works. Now, you just have to do it more often. This is the 1% rule. If you improve just 1% every day, you aren't just getting better. You are building a new identity. Your brain starts to see you as a winner because you are winning every single day. Even if the win is small, it counts as a victory in your mental scoreboard. You need to create success spirals. A success spiral happens when a tiny win leads to another tiny win. For example, if you clean your desk for 1 minute, Kaizen, you feel a little bit better. Because you feel better, you decide to answer 1 email. Because you answered that email, you feel productive, so you write 1 page. This is the opposite of the failure spiral, where 1 mistake makes you want to give up on the whole day. To stay in the success spiral, you must keep the bar low. If the bar is low, you can always clear it, even on your worst days. The protocol also requires you to track your small wins. Most people only track the big wins, so they feel like failures 99% of the time. This is a mistake. You should track the days you showed up. Did you open the book? Mark it as a win. Did you put on your running shoes? Mark it as a win. When you see a long string of wins on your calendar, you won't want to break the chain. This is called visual momentum. It turns your productivity into a game. You aren't working because you have to. You are working because you want to keep your streak alive. Kaizen is the ultimate no-excuse system. You can always do 1 minute. You can always send 1 message. You can always read 1 paragraph. By using the Mastery Protocol, you take the power away from your fear. You make progress inevitable. You don't need to be a genius or a hero. You just need to be a person who refuses to let the 0 inches win. When you master the small things, the big things start to happen automatically. You become a machine of constant, quiet, and unstoppable growth. We have talked enough. Now, it is time to act. You have the philosophy. You have the math. You have the framework. But none of that matters if you turn off this video and go back to your old life. Knowledge without action is just a fancy way of wasting time. If you want to change, you need a kill switch. This is a moment where you decide that the old you is dead. The person who accepted crumbs from life is gone. The person who let vampires drink their energy is finished. Right now you are standing at a fork in the road. One path leads back to the bankrupt future. The other leads to the life you were meant to live. Here is your 1-minute checklist I promised you. Do not wait until tomorrow. Do these 3 things the second this video ends. First, look at your phone. Find the top 2 people who drain your energy or bring you drama. Mute them. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to argue. Just silence the noise. Second, pick the 1 goal you have been avoiding, whether it is writing, working out, or starting a business. Do it for exactly 60 seconds. Set a timer. Just 60 seconds. This is your input 0 killer. Third, tell yourself out loud, my word is law. From this moment on, if you tell yourself you will do something, you do it. No excuses. No lies. The world is full of average people who are waiting for the right time. They are waiting for someone to save them. They are waiting for a miracle. You are not one of them. You understand that the miracle is in the 1%. The miracle is in the 1 minute of work you do when you don't feel like it. Self-respect is not something you are born with. It is something you build, brick by brick, through small acts of discipline. Every time you choose Kaizen over procrastination, you are voting for a better version of yourself. You are telling the world that you are a person of value. Do not be afraid of being small. Be afraid of being zero. A small fire can eventually burn down a forest. A single drop of water over time can crack a stone. You have the power to change everything, but you have to start the wheels turning. You have to be willing to be a beginner today so you can be a master tomorrow. Stop letting energy vampires live in your head rent-free. Clear the space, focus the lens, push the button. This is the end of the video, but it is the beginning of your new standards. If you found value in this, it's because you know I am telling you the truth you've been hiding from. Go to the comments and write down your 1-minute goal for today. Publicly commit to it. Then, put your phone down and go do it. Don't scroll to the next video. Don't check your notifications. The kill switch has been flipped. Go build your empire 1 minute at a time.